Hello? I should be back. I'm really sorry about that. I had a really bad scare happen. I had to get off camera. I had to get off stream. We're back. I'm sorry about that. That was intense for me. Yeah, that was really intense for me. I'm sorry. I got really, really scared. But we're okay. And we're back. These are the challenges of mental health. We gotta push through them. I'm so sorry about that, Brandy. I'm so sorry. I hope you understand why I had the I understand from your side you were probably just like, what the fuck? On my side, I hope you can understand why I had the reaction I did. I'm sorry. But I hope you're having a good day, Brandy, and that you have some fun cross stitches that you're working on or something. I'm glad you get it. Thank you. This is my first day back streaming too, and so if the situation that I thought had unfolded was unfolding, I was going to be like, wow, that's going to be extremely ironic that once again something from my family would be coming up. Haven't been able to stitch recently? Of course not. No, you had a child. Like, you had small child. You're not going to get you time. You're not allowed to have you time now. You have child time. I need stitch markers. 4 of them. Have you been taking pictures though, I imagine? Is that the new hobby now that you have a child? Is it you're a photographer? That never wants to be set down? I mean, that's child, though. Children do that. The whole liking being held by their mom thing, that's kind of used. Do you not remember that being part of the package deal they sold you at the hospital? Clingy wasn't an option. I can only imagine. How... So now that you've had a child and you're on the other side, with the medical system being what it is in America, how horrible was it? Not like the childbirth part. I don't want to know, like, how bad was that? I mean, just, like, the bureaucracy of the medical system, the financial side. How horrendous was that for you? That's a very hot topic lately. Everybody wants to talk about it. It's been very personally affecting my life. Oh, I need way more than 4. I need 12 stitch markers. Holy heck. Holy heck, Batman. Do I even have 12 in the same color? That are all gonna be that small? Probably not. Maybe. Probably not. No, definitely not. That's okay. We're gonna go orange and yellow. And we'll alternate. And I am adamant in believing that your stitch marker counter does matter, or stitch marker color does matter, to make sure that you can actually see them. You just got the call to get your mom's ashes. I'm really sorry about that. I can only imagine that there's a lot of conflicted feelings around that entire event. And I imagine your family's being extra rotten about it. Because it's a death and it's a family mourning. That's how people get. We get rotten. I needed 2 more orange ones. Oops. Right on all accounts. Humans. So predictable. You'd think that, like, death would be the one thing to bring us all together, kind of, but no. It's, if anything, it just separates us more. She was doing really bad. Well, and I know you guys didn't, you had a pretty, like, I don't want to put your business on the internet, but your relationship was hit and miss, I think would be fair to say. You know? I know you loved your mother a ton, though. She was very important in your life, and definitely a rock in your life. And her health was, I think her health contributed a lot to maybe the side of her that, like, people like myself got to meet, which is a damn shame, because I bet that she was a really great person. Complicated is definitely accurate. Yeah. That's okay. Just so you know, like, that's valid. If anybody is trying to come into your life and tell you that you should feel any way, I mean, you already know that. How's Munchkin 1 handling all of that? Does she even know? You know what? That's as long as she's, you know, aware of it and you're not hiding it from her. That's all you can really ask for, right? Where did your mom want her ashes spread? Or did she not want them spread? She knew day of. Did you guys get to say goodbye and everything then? It was very, like, organized. Spread them here on the property. It's not a bad idea. You know, I always think about where I would want my ashes spread. And the thing that I think would make me happiest would be that if somebody who loved me were to carry some of my ashes with them. And if they're ever somewhere that they think of me, and there is somewhere around them that's appropriate, to spread a few of them. If it's legal to spread ashes where you're at, of course. I know that you have to. There's certain places you can't do it. I mean, within full legality, but like that would mean more to me. She's very out of it. Did she have dementia? Or Alzheimer's, or? She did, yeah. The laws are funky. Wow. Bad on all accounts. I'm really sorry. Couldn't have been easy. I'm dreading the call for my own dad soon. Yeah. I can imagine, because that's what happens when your brain becomes oxygen starved. It just starts going, ugh. I think the only saving grace about somebody passing away from lack of oxygen is knowing that you just drift to sleep. Your brain just puts you to sleep. It's kind of nice to know, to take that comfort in at least. If not morbid, at the very least. I need 2 center markers. Okay. 2 more. This is a 14 marker project, apparently. I can imagine that will be complicated, yeah. I'm really hoping to make it be as not complicated as possible. He's going to be wrapped in a linen cloth. He's going to be shoved in a hole in the ground without a coffin. And I'm going to rent one for the funeral service. Because I'm not paying thousands of dollars to shove a metal box in the ground. That's stupid. Not to mention horrible for the environment. And if he has a problem with it, well then he can make the arrangements and pay for it. That's why you want to be a tree. It's not a bad call. I want exactly what I'm doing to my dad. Wrap me in a linen cloth, put me in a hole in the ground. Vertically if you have to even. I don't give a damn. I'm gonna be dead. Don't they have like the little pod things you can get for being made into a tree as well? Not that you'd like need one of those for doing it, but isn't that like a thing you can purchase? I can't imagine that would be necessary, right? Or is that like they take a tree and they've just like they take a tree that's already mostly alive and they wrap the roots around you? Because if so, that's entirely different, but also really cool. Bios, yeah. They use your ashes to fertilize, yeah. See, I'd rather just let myself decompose naturally under the tree. I don't even want it just to be my ashes. There are pods that do that too? Okay, well, that's cool. So, Brandy, would you take on a paid scrapbooking project? For monies? It's just from one trip to Six Flags that I need. It's like a weekend-long trip. Because we have, when we were on so we went to Six Flags, and then at every single coaster, we rode it, and then when we got off, hi, Yarnia! How are you doing today? When we got off of every coaster, we took a Polaroid photo, so we have a bunch of Polaroids from the trip. And then we also have a bunch of like film that I got that I took photos on my Canon. Taking care of your Babka. I am starting my Wingspan shawl today and returning to streaming hopefully what should be full time. My partners are very supportive and have said that I was very good at this when I did it a couple of years ago. My father kind of ruined it for me a little bit, but I'm back, hoping to have more fun and spread more fiber joy with people, and to learn a lot along the way. Yeah, my father, he was living with me back last time when I was streaming before years ago, and we didn't get along. There was a lot of issues, including a time where I was streaming and then he and my aunt barged in. It got really heated. Yeah, it was. So it put a really bad taste in my mouth, and I'm trying to get back into the swing of doing this because I do love streaming. And I will give you a call about it, Brandy. I'll definitely have to. What have you been working on recently, Yarnia, on your streams? I came and lurked in one a little bit recently. But it's been a little bit. Your streaming should be your place of... Exactly, yeah. Been knitting a whole lot more. Ooh! I mean, I love knitting streams. I was wondering if you'd want to do like a knit along or something with me, maybe come to spring. You embarked on a journey. Do tell. Tell me about your journey. I want to know. Oh my gosh, 20 baby blankets? Are you gonna crochet them or knit them or both? Like, is it like a mixture? Are they all gonna be different? Ooh. Oh, well, that is going to be so fun. If you ever need somebody to maybe co-stream with you, I'd be honored to do so. Could do a knit along or something. I have a couple of ideas for some content. I was thinking of I'm actually really worried about like literacy in America, and Twitch is a really good platform for reaching, I think, the younger demographic of people. And I was thinking about doing a Twitch TV book club. If that might interest you. Yeah, we all agree. So a group of us agree to read a book, and we read it on a schedule. So we'll say, okay, the first week we read chapters 1 through 6, and then on that Friday we get together and we discuss the book and what we've read and what we think's gonna happen or what might happen. You started reading Dune again? I couldn't make it through Dune the first time. I don't know what it is about sci-fi in me. I just don't like sci-fi books. Loved it in Romanian. I bet there are so many more texts that are beautiful in Romanian or other languages than they are in English. I bet there are so many things that English language just like rips apart and turns into garbage. Okay, we're finally starting section A. It only took me like 2.5 hours, but we got it cast on. We got our first section started. That was a lot of increases. That was a lot of prep. In theory, this shouldn't be that difficult to read through and to understand, but we're gonna try it. It's just a really wordy pattern is all. Knit 2 together. Knit 1. I'm immersed in the entirety. I love every page of the thing. I love sci-fi and fantasy. Both of them catch my manager. I used to really love reading a lot more, and I don't know why. I just, for some reason, I stopped. And it worries me that I've done that, which is why I came up with the idea of doing the book club thing. I figured it would be the best way to get myself interested in reading again, and I mean, I could take other people along for the journey, and I feel like it's always easier to get through a book with other people. There's something about reading a book that makes me like, I don't want to just go through this alone. I want to be able to talk to people about it when I'm reading a book. Knit to 3 before the marker. That's right. Yeah, okay. I just need to come up. I figured that also a book club might make good content for a Friday night stream or something, or Saturday even. But let me know if you'd be interested in that, Yarnia, because I'd love to have you involved. I also have other ideas for, I wanted to do, I don't know if you remember, I wanted to do some co-streaming with you back years ago when I was first getting started even. I've had ideas to do co-streaming and stuff on Discord. Let's redo that twice. Okay. So now it's going to be federal 1. Okay, we're doing that 4 times. So this time it's right and then a left instead of a right and then 2 lefts. Gotcha. Okay, so at the outside edges you make 2, on the outside 2 feathers, and then the middle 4 feathers are all a right and then a left, and then it's a left and then a right on the other side. Okay, that makes sense.
gosh, every time I get to that, I'm going to do that, aren't I? I'm going to try and knit that every time, apparently. Okay, now we're in the middle. Purl 1, slip the marker. Knit 1, slip with the yarn in the front. Knit 1. And slip the marker. And then this is going to be the opposite in theory, right? So now, this is going to be a purl 1 after the markers. These are going to be knit 2 together instead of slip slip knits, yep. But now it's going to be a left and then a right. Isn't it? No, it's still right and then left. Okay, good to know. I'm surprised it doesn't flip that. Really? I feel like that would make way more sense to flip. Make one left, and then I did the knit one. Okay, yeah. Well, that's not right. Definitely not right. Definitely not correct. Let's back up. Okay. Slip marker. Purl 1. Knit 2 together. Done. Then it was a knit 1. Oh, knit to 4 before the marker. After. Really? Okay. Gotcha. Instead of just putting a knit 2 in there, they do that. And then you do your main point. Oh, okay. That's what I was doing wrong. Okay. Hello. Thank you, Mirror, and welcome back yourself. I'm sorry, we had an issue. I had to get off stream for a minute. I'm back. I feel better. There are definitely parts of this pattern that don't make sense when you read them. I could see why this confuses the hell out of people. That doesn't line up, though, for sure, right? That can't line up. Slip the marker, because you purl one here, and you knit two together. You knit to the 4 before. Right, because that's where you make one, knit one, make one, knit one, slip, slip, knit. And then you move the marker, and you purl one. Two together. Make one, knit one, make one, knit one, two together, slip one. At least on the row before, you were supposed to be a purl. So I did that wrong. That's okay, we can fix it very quickly by just doing this. And flipping it back to the way it's supposed to be. There we go. Color looks really good though. I'm really excited to fade into this color. If I'm honest, this is the color I'm really excited about. And Yarny, I think you'll love this color too. Because I'm gonna fade from the darker one into this one. And so it'll all, in theory, all of the darker part should be right here in the collar bit, and then it'll fade out to the tips. Yeah, that's kind of what I was going for, was like a peacock blue. It really, I have a dye that I think is the dye that she used for this. I think I have this exact dye because I've made a yarn. I promise I'll have to get the hat. My partner has it. I've made a yarn that is almost exactly this. Years before she made this. And it was completely on accident. I was just playing around with dye when I made it, you know what I mean? I wasn't trying to copy her, but she really made what I was trying to get to. My only issue, as I mentioned earlier in the stream, is that one of my skeins unfortunately has like a dark spot on it. And it's the only dark spot in the whole skein, and it doesn't even penetrate that deep or anything. So it's not like it's bad, but I don't know. It made me not want to use that one. I also don't know if I want to do the full size or if I only want to do the 2 skein shawl. I think I'm going to stick to doing the 2 skein shawl for now. And if I hit like a certain streaming goal or something, I might switch to doing the 3 skein one. The 2 skein one, that's already 800 yards. You know what I mean? This would be a 1,200 yard shawl. That's going to be huge. And the rows are like 200 stitches each. You know, I bet it could look really good. It's just gonna feel like Rakan from League of Legends for sure. Like you're totally gonna have Rakan vibes. And my fear would be it dragging on the ground really at that length. Potentially, because I really do fear it would get to be that long. Because I don't have tight tension. I have pretty on gauge tension. But typically that means that my shawls are very, very loose. Yeah, I feel like these should have been pearls on the row before, and they weren't. I feel like my pearls and my knits got switched on the row before for some reason. Which could have been a mistake I made, but I double checked that I read through the row right. I wonder if it's a printing mistake. Because there's supposed to be pearls that line up. There's like pearl ridges that you end up forming throughout this pattern that are supposed to separate the feathers, from what I understand. And I'm seeing them here at the beginning, but they look like they're offset by 1 on accident. Like this and this stitch look like they're swapped. You know what? Instead of assuming that I know more than the pattern maker, I'm going to tink back. I'm going to undo what I thought was a correction, and I'm just going to follow the pattern to the T, and I'm not going to question it, and I'm going to assume that they know what they're doing, and I don't know. Some of this has not made sense. Some of this has made a lot of sense from what I've seen compared to other patterns in the past. And I'm getting a lot of vibes to change things in it, which tells me that either I'm not getting like instinctively, if I'm reading through a pattern, right, and I think, okay, well, this doesn't look like this is right, and this doesn't line up here, and that's not lining up with this or something, I start freaking out, personally. I'm not going to do that. We're just going to commit to keeping it how it was. We can follow written instructions, so if something doesn't come out about it, it's right here at the beginning. It's not like it's a big deal. I just realized all my music stopped.
There we go. Ah, I didn't set it to loop through my music. There we go.
Ooh, I am getting hungry. Think you lost a stitch somewhere? That's never fun. I'm placing a lot of faith in this pattern maker right now, because this really doesn't line up, and I'm reading through it again, and I knit it correctly. How close to... What kind of hat is it that you're working on, Mirror? Or did you not go with the hat? Oh no. Fairly simple beating with a little style. How far down was it? How many rows ago did you lose it? It migrated to the middle of my magic loop. Oh no! That's never fun. I hate when that happens. I don't ever do the magic loop method. I do 2 sets of circulars instead. Same effect, but sometimes the cable will bunch up though, and they do the exact same thing. I was right. Everything was off by a stitch. I knew it. I knew I was right. Never doubt yourselves. That's actually the real lesson here. Your intuition is always correct, and you're intelligent, and you're so smart, and you know when stuff's wrong, so trust yourself that you know how to read your knitting. If I make a video on this pattern, that is 100% going to be the message that I send to myself. Or to viewers. Once you learn it 1 week. See, I like to never think of learning a new technique as learning like the new way you have to do something. I like to think of it as like different paints for a canvas, right? There's a bunch of different ways to do garter stitch tab. You can do it with a provisional cast on. You could do it with a crochet hook to pick it up. You can go in with, do it with 2 set smaller needles or what have you. There's a bunch of ways to do it, but they all get different results. And so if you know where each one is best used, you know the best way to do it all the time. Today's affirmation: trust your intuition on how you read your knitting pattern. Yeah, truly, because I was 100% correct that my markers weren't lining up. So it's either I messed up in my marker placement or the pattern is written weirdly. And it's possible I messed it up. But I felt like I was really careful, and I read through the row above, and I completed the first 2 with no problems, you know what I mean? I can't believe I was right. I'm mad. I could have saved myself so much trouble. 2 together, knit 2. Then I should be at 4 before the marker, which I am. So at this point is when I do my make ones. Make 1, knit 1, make 1, knit 1. Yeah, something isn't adding up here. Huh. Let me go back to the beginning of the row. Make sure I have my right stitch count, I guess. Stuff's really not lining up, and yeah. Like, really not lining up. Three, 6, 9, 10. 3, 6, 9. What the heck? All of my... Yeah. We're gonna restart. I think it's just gonna be faster to restart. I really do. Which sucks, because I'm working at this for a couple hours, just trying to get it right. But, you know, I'd rather just restart and get it all done correctly. And sometimes that's what it takes. Frogging. I hate doing those. God, especially because I'm gonna have to redo this stupid cast on that I hated. That's okay. You know what? Cutting our loss. Full blown tearing. Oh no. It's spelled actual doom. It's the worst. I had a scarf that I made for my partner years ago. It's this like
how do I describe it? It's like it's a bunch of chevrons. It's a chevron scarf. That thing, if you got off by a stitch, I mean, you couldn't tell until the end of a row. It was so frustrating. So many ends to weave in. It was 2 different yarn colors, so it was like constantly switching between 2 yarns. It was just doing chevrons, and ugh. I don't know if I could do another chevron scarf after that one. How are we looking on time till an ad? We got an ad in 7 minutes. And I'm really bad about watching the ad breaks and like actually taking them. So I might make an attempt to do that this time. Before I do that, I have to adjust a thing. I don't like that. I reached over and used the mouse with my left hand, and that was incredibly easy. I don't like how easy that was. I might be left-handed. I might need to switch to left-handed mouse, and that's gonna piss me off. If I'm right-handed even with a mouse after I've grown up using it right-handed my whole life. Yes, I am left-handed. I do write left-handed, but like. Also, did you really just say yuck switching and you're putting down that project and going to another one? How dare you? Even I committed to the recast on. To be fair, one of us is making content, however. Well, if there's one thing I'm certain of, it's that I can do a German twist cast on now. I just hate tightening it up. There's no good way to do it. Oh, and if you split your yarn doing that, oh, that's the worst. Alrighty.
I think I'm almost there, and no, I'm not too. 50, 45, 46, 50. All right, we are about to take an ad break. So I'm going to take a minute here. I'm gonna get up. I'm gonna stretch my legs, and yeah, we'll be back to keep recasting on. I'm hopeful we can make it through a lot further and a lot faster this time. We've done the setup, so it shouldn't be too bad. But ads are going to start here in 10 seconds, and I'm going to be right back probably a minute or so after those are done. So I'll see you guys then.
I'm sorry. I took a minute. I wanted chips. Thank you, Mirror. And I sent my partner out on a McDonald's run for us because I am oh so hungry. I mean, I do love my Fritos, too. I hope it's not, like, incredibly too loud. Is it too loud? I can mute my microphone while I chew. Okay, so this will be stitch number 60. As long as it isn't like crunch, 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 crunch. I mean, I also only eat like 1 or 2 at a time. Probably also helps that I chew with my mouth closed, unlike most people. I'm also just trying to make sure I really read this pattern. Because, man, it feels like there's just something I didn't understand. I felt like I followed it to a T. I felt like all my markers were in the right places. I don't know.
75 out of 79. So I need 4 more, so 1, 2, 3, 4. There we go. Separated those out. Slip one with the yarn in the front. Here we go. Round 2. 100 IQ. Thank you so much for the follow. Oh my gosh. My little alert didn't play, but I did see the thing and I got the email here. Thank you so much. You're not in our, I don't see you in the chat, but feel free to chat with me. Did you bring a project with you today, or how are you doing? I wonder my sound didn't play. I have to get my alerts fixed. I'm so sorry. And 5. That was close. Whew. You did watch that fully slip off my left needle, yes, and I managed to not somehow drop the cast on stage. I don't know how. Whew. Okay, well, we made it to the end of that row. That's the end of the first row, the first setup row, and everything looks fine. My stitch count ended up right. The pattern led me to the end. So here we go. This is our first right side row. It sounds like my partner also just got home from work. One of them did, I should say. I was right, Parker is home from work. Parker. Just a heads up, I am live. Oh, I am. But I love you. Welcome home. I hope work was good. I hope work was good. That's pretty good.
Didn't have a lot to do today. Most of the check-ins showed up. And my coworker showed up to take my place.
But you got girl boy. What a silly dog. Austin's on a McDonald's run.
He called me while I was waiting.
Did you get your order?
Oh, he just leaned his head in me.
He missed you. He's like, where you been? You been gone all day, Parker.
I can't take you to work yet until your infection's gone.
Why'd you get me sick?
Literally, my plan was to bring him during the time that we didn't have a lot.
Oh.
The time that we didn't have any daycare, because he could have played with. Not that he plays, he does not play. Don't get me wrong.
He's not a play dog.
He does not. He sits. From what the staff said, he either sits right next to the staff member or between the two.
I wish he would play.
I think he's one of those dogs that doesn't really play with other dogs. I think he just prefers company of people, which is fine. Some dogs do.
I think he's just scared.
Look at it. Look.
Okay, if I'm not mistaken, that should be the 6th one of those. Let's see if that's the, because the pearl is the beginning of it. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. Yes, I am still live. Pearl 1. I love you too. Okay, so this is where it differs. This is where it says knit one. I think it differed at least. Knit one, slip one with the yarn in the front. And then I believe it's knit one, yeah, and then purl one. No, so that was the same. Okay then. I don't know what happened last time then. It wasn't there that it happened, so now it's gonna be two rights and a left. Yes, I am back. Sorry. I hate the pharmacy too. Never fun. Yeah, everything's okay. I just had a really bad panic attack about something. It's been, I mean, we've handled it at this point. I had a really bad fear. I talked about it with the person. We got it handled. It was, yeah. Today of all days was just a particular day that I didn't expect a trigger to come up, and it did. But we bounced back. You know what I mean? I haven't had them in a long time. It's also just really embarrassing to have one on the internet, but I mean, it happens, you know. I'm not gonna sit here and act like it didn't. All I can do is take a breath and ground myself and move forward. Plus, I'm almost back to where I was in my pattern. Oh, that message was, let's see, I'm gonna move. I'm gonna swap that to there. Let me check there. There we go, that's better. Now I can like read the chat. Yeah, I used to have really bad panic disorder. When I lived in Reno, they were like constant, and thankfully that's like gone away for the most part. Financial stability really helped with that, but now that ever since I lost my job, it's kind of been coming back again, which is terrifying. Not that we're like not okay or anything, you know, we're doing fine, but you know, there's a little scare. As always. We manage. You gotta go see a doctor, yeah. I'm trying to get into a gastroenterologist because I just had a bunch of issues with the last one I went to. It just sucks that you even have to wait till February to get to a doctor in the U.S. It's ridiculous. You can't get to a doctor before you're, you know, before it's too late. You can't even get the medicine when you do get to the doctor. Like, there's just no winning. It's not designed for us to be able to win, though, to be fair. It's designed for people to make money off of us. I am going to take a small break here right now, because in about 30 seconds we are going to have some ads playing. So once those start up, I am going to step away. I'm going to say hello to my partner who just got home from work, like I said. I believe my other partner will be back with my food as well while I'm away, so I might grab that. I will be back, though, once the ads are done, or if not, shortly thereafter. I do appreciate everybody for joining me today. We are working on the Wingspan shawl. Hopefully we can get right back to where we were on it. We're just about there. Once we can do this third row, we'll be there. Excuse me. I'm back. I mean, that's if they keep Social Security around. Because they're trying to get rid of that. Fingers crossed they don't. My body is just starting to break down. That's my hard part. Like, I just, over the past couple months, like, not being able to eat solid foods really fucking sucked. Excuse my language, but I mean, it was the point. I could take a bite of food and then I would vomit almost immediately, and it got really scary, and it sucked because every time I go to the doctor, they'd be like, "No, you're fine. You're so healthy." What do you mean I'm healthy? And nobody, this is crazy. It's crazy. Nobody would take it seriously.
Is that package over here?
Yeah.
I don't think.
Yeah, that was for me. I don't need it.
We don't want this together.
Just right there.
Okay.
Yep. Thank you. This is crazy. Gastroenterologist wasn't worried. Insurance didn't care. Insurance denied me the medication that allows me to eat food now, by the way, for 2.5 months. That was fun. I had to call them crying and being like, I can't eat because you won't give me medicine. The guy that obliterated. Oh yeah, we heard about it. I couldn't. You know what's crazier is a week before. I know. You can talk.
I can.
The mic can't really hear you. You can bring me my food.
Okay.
You know what's crazy is like a week before that happened is I was talking to my partner on the way to take him to work. Austin, you can keep going. Is a week before it happened, I was like talking to my partner while he was on his way to work, and I was like, somebody's gonna snap, and they're gonna go after like an insurance CEO or somebody, and something's gonna happen, and only then is all of this gonna change. And my partner was like, "There's no way that something like that could ever happen. It's not gonna happen." And I was like, "It's definitely gonna happen because people forget that they're just people." Like a week and a half later. Craziest thing. I need to buy a lotto ticket is what needs to happen. I'm the kind of fucker, I bet you every lotto ticket I ever buy, I'll be off by like one number. Alright, let's try this again. Right there, Steiner. Thanks.
You're welcome. I love you.
Love you too. I mean, do I think the method was correct? No. Do I think the message was effective? Yes. Oh, there's a bunch of people that are outraged over it, and there's the dispute about whether or not that is the guy, because supposedly he has been saying it isn't him. Oh, I didn't place a marker there. Whoops, whoops, wee woo, gotta go back, gotta go back. Okay, you know what it is? I'm incredibly hungry. I had a little bit of an omelet this morning. Man, this burger smells good. It's just McDonald's, but oh my god. Well, to be fair, if you want a system that is just, it should fuck everybody over. Shouldn't it? What else should the legal system be there for, if not to fuck everybody over equally? In theory, right? But the problem is that things like fines, that's not a penalty to the rich. If they get a speeding ticket, they can just pay it off, you know? It doesn't apply to them. So now the rules of the road don't apply to them, and they teach their children that the rules of the road don't apply to them, and they fucking drive around and they kill people, you know what I mean? The fine is only a penalty if you can't afford it, if that money isn't expendable to you. That's the problem. That's where I'm messing up. It's place a marker, then knit one. So I'll have to move that one, but that's okay. Century London. It gives me more French Revolution vibes. I think the craziest thing is that they're trying to try the guy with terrorism over it. And it's like, there are people that attack schools that you're not charging with that. I don't. Steam engines are so dangerous and temperamental and explosive. Even the small scale model ones that they sell, they're like, please be very careful, these things can explode. They're basically pressure cookers. I've seen how most people try and deep fry a turkey. I don't need them trying to operate a fucking boiler to get their car going. Most people can't even operate the cars they have now. The car does half the work for them. We have a really big problem. I was talking about this earlier on the stream. How I'm really worried because I feel like we have a massive literacy issue. And I would love to do like a stream book club or something where we all like just pick a book and read it together and we talk about it and ask questions and oh, thank you so much.
Remember, this is what I got ice for.
I forgot.
Love you.
I love you too. My partner brought me a ginger beer with lime juice. Wonderful. Well, now I'm surrounded by food. This is a good stream now. I've got french fries. I've got some chips still. I've got chicken nuggies in my bag. I've got a ginger beer. I've got a nice bottle of water. I do think I need to aim the camera down a little bit more. Unless, can you guys see? Yeah, you guys can't see very well if I'm right here. Part of me thinks I should aim the camera down a little bit more for the next stream, just so I can knit right here a little more comfortably. What do you guys think? Do you agree? Oh. Wait a minute. Oh yeah, and then place. So now I hit one here. Placement. Ah. Oh no. It went up my sleeve. And then after I place the second marker, I knit one. food did you get? Seafood soup sounds good. I would really go for some pho right now, actually. This finger really hurts. I don't know why. It's hurting earlier too. My coaster is very dirty. Oof. I need to wash that. I think I have to knit down here just because my wrists are telling me to. But I can move the camera if you guys need me to. Please do give your opinion. Let's go messed up there. Oops. Thankfully, it was right here at the end. There we go. Final stitch marker, where did you go? Oh no. Wait, genuinely, where'd it go? Son of a bitch. I heard it. I think. No, that was the T-pin. I'm T-pin. That's okay, I'll just get another one. Knowing my luck, it's like under my coaster or something. So I'll just use a different one. And when I find it, I'll put it away. Looking to do an 18 embroidery machines in 3D. What project are you looking to do? We have a 3D printer here I was getting into using. My partner really wants me to use it so I can 3D print like stuff onto fabrics for him. Okay, in theory that should be the end of row 2. So this should be correct. Now, this next row is where things went wrong for us last time. But we're looking really symmetrical. I mean, like, I'm feeling good. I wanted to grab a chicken nugget. And in case anybody's wondering, I do need to know as well in the chat, what is your dipping sauce of choice? Because mine's hot mustard. I don't understand people who go with like sweet and sour. Yes, I'm talking to you, Michael, my own partner. Roll one slip marker. Okay. And the two there. to 3 before the marker. Nice, stuff like that. There's Pearl and slip marker, and then it's immediately been it too. Okay. I think I can do this time. Thinking of doing a Victorian gown, informal aesthetic with elaborate headdress. My partner wanted to do something similar. He wants to get into doing like historical costuming and such. So we have actually over there we have a cast iron, or no, sorry, it's upstairs now. We have a cast iron treadle Singer machine that was built in 1902, so it's over 100 years old. And the machine head still runs and everything. Oh, it was insane. We got it for like 20 bucks too. Hello, Yarnia again. I am back. I'm sorry that I left. I forgot what I was doing there, so I'm just gonna undo that. Oh, that's right, okay. That's that. Into that, into... Black and gold with copper tones, that'll be really pretty. You'll have to send pictures when it's when you're working on it, when you pick your fabrics. My double tape isn't holding my yarn label down that I was hoping would stay there. I need a new camera personally for mine, for my overhead rig. I mean, I love this camera. Don't get me wrong. I love my 5D. It's totally meant for photography though. 100% not meant for like being used for this. That's why every 20 minutes it has to flick off. It's because the sensor isn't really meant to be exposed in this way for as long as we do it. That's why they can get away with using these in like Hollywood and stuff too, for like the 5D. I want to go mirrorless soon. I mean, yeah, I feel like getting Getting a setup that looks really pretty and stuff is just a matter of collecting enough crap to fill it. Like, you guys can't even see it, but I have, and I talked about it earlier, I have my Build-A-Bear cow collection right here that I'm staring at. It, like, surrounds my monitor. There's even 3 on the top of it. I'll send, you know what? I'll send a picture right now to the Discord. And you guys that are in there, you'll get to see what it is that I see. That's the setup. I guess I could show it. I could do this. Oh, well, that's not gonna work well. Well, I guess this might work best. So, yeah. And then there's ads. Huh. Right as I showed that. Oops. Welcome back, everybody. There we go. Things are lining up this time. so I think this is where the pattern is wrong. I think the pattern doesn't place the stitch markers properly on one side. Because something here doesn't line up. I don't think. So the marker, you purl the one. Knit one, slip marker, purl one. Knit two together. Knit to 4 before the marker. But there's supposed to be 8 in between. 9, 10. There should end up being 10 stitches for me. So 1, 2, 3, 4. I think that's where that's supposed to be. It makes way more sense to me. I'm gonna do this. Because I think I'm right about this. I think I'm reading that it incorrectly and that the pattern is wrong. So I need to make one right. Make one left. Yep, so it has you place the markers in the wrong place. Huh, that's really interesting. I'm probably gonna rewrite that so that it's correct for him, and then I'll send it in as a correction. Huh. This pattern is pretty old. I'm surprised that hasn't been updated. Really? That's kind of, that's really disappointing. I'll have to be on guard for that kind of stuff then for the rest of the pattern, I guess. So. Well, this even like gives you places to put the stitch markers, but they're just wrong. Oh, and you know what I just realized too? I fucked up. This whole row's fucked up. I was so stupid. I got gung-ho about learning the first repeat of having make 2 lefts in it that I forgot that the final 4 feathers on that first side aren't supposed to have that in it. So I have to go back anyways. See, there are times where like I'm definitely making, like I know where I made a mistake and I'm identifying it before it's too much of a problem. But the stitch marker thing, that's definitely in the pattern, and that's frustrating when I'm just like wanting to get through a shawl pattern. I don't even think it's a typo. I just think it's like, so, again, the pattern reeks of I knit this from like my head and then thought of all the things that went wrong and tried to fix it. Totally understand. And like it's very clear they wrote out like an idea of a method of growth and just translated it into like an Excel spreadsheet and scaled from there. You know what I mean? More so like the pattern. The actual pattern of growth of the feathers and the idea. Like I think that idea was birthed and then they made a shawl out of it, and then they were like, okay, well, this is all the stuff that went wrong with it, and here's a pattern. Because the thing starts by saying, cast on 79 stitches using your preferred method. I suggest using a stretchy cast on technique. And then it says, I used the long tail cast on for the sample shown. Interesting. Why would your sample not be your finished pattern? Any particular reason? Which, by the way, I'm not judging. That's not a bad way to design a pattern or anything. But I think a test knitter might have found that. Ah, split my yarn. Unsplit. There we go. Okay, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna move the camera right now because I'm working a lot in my face, and you guys can't see what's going on. The good news is this is an easy adjustment to make. Instead, I just put the camera at about. This should be a little bit better. Oh yeah, that's a lot better for you guys. Usually do size charts. Yeah, that's just called figuring out your gauge, you know. I'm used to knitting in gauge. I don't have an issue with that. Again, I'm not having a gauge issue. I'm having a. I followed the pattern, and when I got to following a part of the pattern, the stitch markers aren't where they're supposed to be. What am I going for here? There we go. Okay, so the next one. You gotta knit one, and then make one right, make one left. Okay. I just take measurements and I work it to gauge is all I do with people. And if the gauge, or if the sweater isn't gonna fit, I just adjust my needle size to hit gauge. That'll fit them. The heel counts weren't right. That's funny. I could believe it. Socks are weird. That's why I don't make them. Not by hand, at least. I don't. I actually did make one pair, and then my partner ruined them immediately and felted them in the wash. They were really nice, too. They were for him. I was like, see? This is why I don't make you socks. Did the pattern say anything about maybe having to adjust the heel to size? Every sock book that I've read has told me to make sure to double check heel fits. Ring finger really hurts. I wonder why. I totally dropped a stitch marker, didn't I? Yeah, I did. Here it is. didn't do that right. I'm stupid. Knit two together. Knit one. Make one right. There we go. Okay, now at the middle, knit one, and I believe this is slip one with yarn in the front. Knit it, yip it, oil it, knit two together, knit the four before. Make left, make right. I'll make right, make left. Nice. Most patterns usually are tested. They usually go through a pattern editor as well as like several test knitters. The problem is that just humans are weird shaped. I mean, there's really no way around it. We're really weird shaped, and we're still just not perfect at making the best written instructions on how to wrap two-dimensional or how to make a two-dimensional shape that wraps around a three-dimensional object. So I think we just need to be a little more patient with each other. So it'll be two after that every time, okay. For this row at least. Ah, that's okay. I wasn't streaming at that time, but thank you very much. It's been a very rough year. Hoping next year will be better. Really hoping. It was that bad. Okay, so now we're gonna go.
Been doing work. It's going, you know, we're lining up at the end of the third row this time. And we're kind of looking like we're on track to maybe have something here. I think we actually have a good stab at it this time, if I'm honest. But the pattern is a little incorrect on something, so I do have to make a couple of minor adjustments, but it's nothing major. It's mostly just stitch marker placements. See, the real question is going to be, do they line up on the next row? Because if I move them and then they don't line up again, that's going to be really infuriating. See, because this is where it's not lining up. Technically, it says to slit the marker after you, or before you do the purl. But it said to purl all 8 and then place the marker when doing it. Before, see, it didn't. So it didn't make sense at all. It didn't line up for some reason. I don't know. Somebody more intelligent than me in theory made the pattern, so I would imagine it should be right, but it's just not. Okay, here's where I do make 2 rights. That's progress. Yeah, I'm taking one to frog out. Ooh. Claim the yarn to start over. Hi. Are you gonna like completely like trash the project, start over on something new, or was this like you were gonna use this yarn in this sweater and all of a sudden now you're just like, fuck it, I'm gonna use a different one? And you know what's funny? The one that I messed up earlier, it's right. The one where I was like, oh, I messed that up, I'll have to go back and fix that. That one's correct, because that one I just placed off my intuition. So that definitely means that the pattern was written incorrectly. Because I understood it intuitively enough to know where to put the stitch marker. I knew what he was going for, especially when I was coming through it the second time around. It is that it's written incorrectly. I just have to go back and figure out how it's written wrong. And I have all of that recorded, so at least I can do that. Probably just recast on, go for it. You can do it. It can't be that hard, right? It's just knitting. It's just string and needles. You know what I mean? I bet it can't really be. Not even string. It's yarn and needles, not string. That's row 3, guys. I just want to point out, it's 3 o'clock in the afternoon. I started this at 10 in the morning, and I've completed row 3. Oh my god, this project is this is why I was so scared of it. I knew it was going to be this intense. Okay. There's a lot of repeating that I see later on in the pattern. So I'm thinking that there's a lot of motifs and foundational stuff that I've just established. But I'm not sure. And we have our first short row coming up. So I'm nervous. First short row. It would, you know, be fine if it wasn't wrong. Call it gut instinct. Call it experience. I'm putting in a lifeline. Yes, I know, I'm 3 rows into a pattern. I'm putting in a lifeline. That may seem stupid. I don't care. After the headache this gave me, and the day I've had, quite frankly, I don't care. I'ma do it. Never used a lifeline? Well, it's pretty simple. Usually you use a contrasting yarn, you know, if you care about it at all, but I really don't care about using a contrasting yarn. And literally all you're gonna do is just thread a needle and you go through all the stitches. And then if you ever need to frog, you can frog all the way back to this lifeline, and this will hold all of those stitches, so you could just completely pull your needles out, right? And frog endlessly, and then it'll automatically stop and catch on the lifeline. Oh man, if you don't muck it up like that, at least it will. Okay, the trouble is that I'm not really good at laying lifelines. There's really 2 methods to do it. One is to just do what I was attempting to do right there, which is thread it through. The other is a little slower. Do you update it? You can. You just put in a new one. The whole idea is that they're like bookmarks for your knitting, right? So the idea is that no matter what, you can always you can continue on with the knowledge that all of your work up to that point is saved. It's like saving in a video game, or... Figured I'd wait till ad break ends before I answer that question. I don't know if you can hear me right now or not. Ah, okay. So you can leave them in, yes, if you want to, just in case. But it's up to you. Yeah, you could pull them out. Some people just like carry one lifeline, and when they get to a certain point, they put in a new one, and then they pull out the old one, or they'll use two, and they, you know, like ladder them up, so they'll always take out the oldest one and put in a new one. But the main thing is, you see, I just take a darning needle and I'm just threading yarn through all of them, and I'm making sure not to go through the stitch markers, because if you go through your stitch markers, obviously they're not going to be able to go up your project without trying to take the lifeline with them, which would be bad. We just anchored that to all of these other stitches. And I normally don't knit with lifelines, honestly, because they can slow you down, honestly. But I don't know. Brain was telling me use lifeline. I feel like you always learn the most from a pattern right at the beginning of it. So I'm really trying to make sure and go over in my head, is there anything maybe that I missed? Is there anything to the methodology of this that I'm not understanding? Is there some facet of the construction that's beyond my understanding of what I'm trying, what my end goal is here, and what's being made? Do I see the object coming before me? You know what I mean? I kind of do. I see the feathers. I see where they begin. I see like the little rows that he mentions being in between them, which is really good. There we go. So that's the lifeline laid, and it's just right here. And you could do something like tie a knot in the end of it, you know, so that you can always find it if you wanted or something. Completely up to you, but basically the idea is that now, no matter what, no matter where I go in the project, I'm safe. Because I can always come back to right here. No matter what. Which is nice. That's where I'm gonna stretch for a second.
So this is short row 3-1, it says. And it's a wrong side row. Okay. I forgot, things are gonna move a little tighter now that I have that lifeline in place just for this row. Two before the marker, sorry, because it's knit one, slip one with yarn in the front. Sorry, it's actually slip with yarn in the front. Knit one. Slip marker. Slip with yarn in the front. Going into the purl. Okay. Three. Okay. So this is my third time doing that. So not just quite yet. They probably need to go potty. Sorry. It's supposed to slip in with the yarn in the front, and at that point, it's supposed to just turn it. Well, specifically, it says to WT. So let's see what the abbreviation says at the back of the pattern. Let's see how they define it. Move your trailing yarn to the other side of your work. So this is what they want me to do whenever they say this. So from front to back. Back to the original size. Stitch. Back to the left nail. And then turn your work around. No need to pick up the wraps in this pattern. So they want you to fully wrap that next stitch. That's what they're looking to get you to do. For anybody who didn't see, by the way, this is the pattern that we are making. This is the wingspan shawl. The pattern is so complex that I felt the need to spiral bound it. Actually, wasn't so bad, that first short row section. We did one. Woo! That's what the whole pattern is. Short rows like that. Small little sections where we're going to build up like the 4 outside feathers. And then we're going to come back and we're going to do the whole thing. And then we're going to do more. Because like that was just those 2 rows. Yeah, and see it says to do those and then do row 4 and then to do row 4 short rows. And so you're just doing, you're basically always going like 2 steps forward, 1 step back in terms of like the pattern repeats, if that makes sense. Oh my gosh, I'm so itchy. Ugh. Okay, well it's not horrible. Like it's not the worst thing in the world to follow. I do have 45 minutes left in the stream, so I think I'm just gonna tough it out. Keep working. This row is actually not so bad. Oh, I'm a little tired today. Son of a bitch. I read that wrong. I read that wrong. The whole row. Not the whole row, the whole half of the row. I was supposed to be purling to 1 before, not 2. So I was off by, it ended up making me off by like only 1 stitch, but... I swear, I will have knit this entire shawl twice by the time we get to the end of the project, if you were to like actually count all the tinking and everything I do. row 4. You really start to see the bases of these feathers cut out now. You can really see the dips in the bottoms of each one of them, or at least the pieces in between them. Which I guess technically probably end up being the, like the tips. Actually, those are the middles of the feathers, aren't they? Those are the spines of them, I think. So, we'll see. I'm not quite sure. It's got this little linen stitch section that's supposed to be in the middle, so I wonder if this grows out or if this is the linen stitch section here. Find out together as we go. One thing's for certain, this cable will probably not be long enough for very long, which is okay. I think we can do the short rows here and maybe even another row. looks like we're gonna have our final ad break here in a moment, but I think there's only me and one other person here anyways, and I'm pretty sure it's one of my partner. I got 13 more minutes. Yeah, I could do another short row. Or not another short row. I could do another whole row. Two together and hit one. Make one right. Let's go like that. There we go. There we go. Son of a... I messed up. Ah. Wait, maybe I didn't. Okay, not super bad. Okay, so now it's just make one right. Make two left. I'm sure I just hate it right now. I'm sure I'll love it at the end for some reason. I'll turn into a masochist halfway through and love the torture that this thing gives me. It is pure mental anguish, I promise. My brain is jelly. Though that could be, I've just been staring at it for too long. It has been the same page the whole time. Not at the middle. Or one slip the marker. Slip on with the yarn in the front. Yeah. Set the marker. Pearl. Alright. My hands hurt. I've been working at this long enough. I'm gonna call it here. I'm about halfway through the end of row 5. Thank you everybody who did come out and watch and hang out with me today. I appreciate it. I'll be back tomorrow, where we are going to continue on this lovely pattern. I think tomorrow we're gonna get a lot more progress on it. Today I had to repeat the beginning of it twice. I should in theory have like double or triple this amount of fabric. I just don't, because I messed up. But hopefully we'll get some more done tomorrow. So thank you so much for watching and have a great day.